Metro Police arrest an assistant principal at a North Las Vegas charter school on a number of child sex crime charges. 42-year-old Pernell Graham, he faces charges including sexual assault with a child under 16, kidnapping, child abuse, and neglect. He is expected to appear in court tomorrow. Fox 5 confirming Graham worked at Civica Nevada Career and Collegiate Academy. The school says the allegations involve a previous place where Graham worked. Civica confirmed Graham's on administrative leave. The school says at this time it's not aware of any actions during the administrator's tenure at Civica that formed the basis of these allegations. Anyone who may have been a victim or has information about crimes is urged to contact the sexual assault detail, or you can call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. We have both numbers up on our website.